Good day. When Israel attacked Iran on 13th of June 2025, the expectation was that it was going to destroy all of Iran's nuclear enrichment facilities and also possibly effect a regime change by decapitating the leadership of Iran. Well, they did achieve some successes in their first strike because it was a surprise to a lot of people. And it was even a bigger surprise to the Iranians. But since that initial strike, Iran has woken up and has started to respond. Their response has been swift. Several barrages of missiles have been shot at Israeli cities, and Israeli military assets and economic assets and infrastructure have been hit. But even then, the barrage has been unrelenting, and it has exposed the myth or demystified the whole concept that Israel has an Iron Dome, David Sling missile defense systems that were very effective and the best in the world. They have been breached, and so many targets have been hit within Israel. So at this point, just a few days into the war, Israel is getting a little bit desperate. There's discussion among the Israeli political class, but Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been proactive. He has reached out to America straight up and said, America, come join us in this war in destroying Iran's nuclear assets. So this leaves us to question if Israel will have the staying power to sustain this war for a long time. Welcome to my channel, Ebima Mungo's Perspective on Global Affairs. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe. If you have any comments regarding the ideas I express, please leave them in the comment section. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has made a career of taking out any world leader who opposes his aspiration to have Israel as the overlord of the whole of the Israeli territory that includes Palestine. United Nations resolution has said that there should be a two-state solution to the Israeli question. But Benjamin Netanyahu and his co-travelers insist that Israel should be the sole occupant of that land and that territory. And for any politician within Israel who opposes Benjamin Netanyahu, it's not been well with them. A good remembrance will be that of Yitzhak Rabin, who brokered peace between the Palestinians and the Israelis. He was even awarded a Nobel Peace Prize with Yasser Arafat for bringing peace. But peace with the Palestinians has not been something that Benjamin Netanyahu has always agreed upon, and it has defined his career over 40 years involvement in politics that he has opposed any attempt to find peace. And for those countries that feel that what he's been doing is been bad, he has singled them out and orchestrated through different political machinations the downfall of governments and possibly the effective elimination of those leaders who opposed him. We will remember the opposition he got from the former Libyan president, then Colonel Muammar Gaddafi. Another leader who fell to his machinations was Saddam Hussein. We also know that Nasrallah, the leader of Hezbollah, has been taken out. And now one who continues to be a thorn in his flesh, the supreme leader of the Iranians, is the next target for Benjamin Netanyahu now. So Netanyahu and his co-travelers have started a war. Their whole intent is that they may have looked through a checklist and seen that they have successfully removed so many leaders who oppose them over the course of 30 years. They have used and had the friendship and the help of NATO in the case of Muammar Gaddafi and the Americans in the case of Saddam Hussein. And Possibly they have also done their own bit by removing Nasrallah themselves. But now, rather than do anything, we now know that they're having intelligence and material support from the Americans under this American President Donald Trump. So far, he has not weighed in on the Americans' part. That now that Benjamin Netanyahu is being given a black eye by the Iranians, he has called to Trump. He has even started to make appeals to Trump, saying that, look, these people wanted to kill you. Today he was on TV in America saying that they had made attempts to assassinate Trump. He's trying to appeal to the human angle of Trump to hate the Iranians enough to join his campaign against Iran. This campaign against Iran may not have been well thought through because it is now showing us the cleavage in the war, and people who have a lot of stake in the continued survival of Iran have started to come in, and they are not shy about joining this ongoing conflict. The first being the Russians. The Russians have a security agreement with the Iranians, and they have ratified it from their own, and the Iranians were delaying in ratifying theirs. But this attack has become a jolt that has forced them that the parliament just instantly, quickly ratified the security arrangement with Iran. Let's not forget that Iran plays a very crucial role in the Iranian war, in the Ukrainian-Russian war, by giving Shahid drones to the Russians that has helped their campaign a lot in draining and making a fit all the air defense systems of Ukraine, because they saturate the air defense systems of Ukraine with these drones before they put in their Zircon and Iskander missiles and destabilize the Ukrainian infrastructure. That anything they wanted, any target they had in Ukraine, they first of all made the Ukrainians expend a lot of missiles, air defense missiles, through the Shahid drones before they now send in their very powerful hypersonic missiles and even the normal medium-range Iskander missiles. So the role that the Shahid have played, and the role that the Iranians have played in supporting Russia is well known. And Russia is now saying that, look, we are going to support. And that has already started to show, because Russia and China have condemned Israel's actions in the United Nations. And President Vladimir Putin, has already started to work the phones and is talking to all the regional partners within that region and trying to get their reading on what they could do. President Putin has had a very long, fractious relationship with President Erdogan of Turkey. I dare say that he doesn't even trust him because of how Erdogan flip-flops on policies. Today he shows his hand in one way or the other. So, but in this particular case here now, Russia is looking to know what kind of role Turkey will be playing, and after talking with Erdogan, they released a joint statement. But if anybody has been much, much, much vocal about support for Iran, that will be Pakistan. Pakistan has even gone ahead and said they won't give Iran nuclear weapons should Israel use nuclear weapons against Iran. This is the point where people are now. It is becoming very clear, because slowly the Iranians are collecting themselves, and then they are now finding out and understanding the true nature of Israel's attack on them. Apparently, Israel has had an extensive drone manufacturing program within Iran, coordinated by some Mossad agents, and already the Iranians are cracking down on them. And even then also, there was an extensive car bombing program going on and bombing program going on that made it look like it was Israeli jets dropping bombs. And for those ones, the people helping the Israelis are being caught and slowly strangled. Now we're seeing that the system by which Israel sprung up a surprise is being unraveled. And now, with the big logistic challenges that Israel has to overcome using F-35 planes over long distances across two countries. They see that the logistic challenge of sustaining a long war with Iran is not going to be easy. So now Israel has reached out to its Israeli lobby and the neocons in America. There is no neocon, no agent of war, no agent of destruction bigger than Lindsey Graham. And he has been parroting and shouting that President Donald Trump should throw his weight behind the Israelis in this confrontation. There's also attempts to try and get the Israelis, give Israeli support in the Senate. But one or two senators on the other side are also saying that there should be no attempt to war, American involvement in the war without the support of Congress. It's that support of Congress that we really don't know what will happen. Israel has a lobby in American Congress that is almost complete in the nature of support it has there. So if it goes through Congress, Congress simply is going to say advocate for an attack on Iran. That is almost certain. But it is quite early that Netanyahu will be asking for support at this point in time. Nobody has seen the kind of destruction that Iran has wrought on Israel in just 3 days of launching missiles into Israel. And just before I started this video, Iran was already saying that they are going to launch a fourth wave and a bigger wave of missiles. I mean, people who know the Iran missile system says that the newer hypersonic missiles have started not being used yet. So this is where we are. How well will Israel be able to sustain the war? Political analysts have already said that if this war lasts a long time, if this war becomes a war of attrition, Israel is certain to lose. And if America weighs in on this war, it almost certainly may have its assets hit in a way that may shock them just the way Israel is being shocked. Because now we are hearing about America mobilizing 3 aircraft carriers to the Gulf and to the Middle East. All these aircraft carriers are within the reach of Iranian missiles. All it takes is for one to be hit by a direct missile barrage and sunk possibly, and that will have a morale. We really don't know what that will do to the American psyche. We should know that President Trump has changed. The President Trump we see in the 47th president, as the 47th president, is a very different president from the one we knew as the 45th president. He is showing signs of being duplicitous. Why do I say this? Let's take the case with Elon Musk. With Elon Musk, he encouraged Elon Musk to start the Department of Government Agency, and Elon Musk wholeheartedly threw himself into that project within just 6 months or a few months of Trump's presidency. It's not up to 6 months yet, but he threw himself wholeheartedly into it. And then when it comes to budget cycle, he now finds out that all his attempts to reduce government spending was just thrown away. While his companies had suffered, his cars were being burnt. Every single thing he was saying about government, all his preaching about government efficiency was thrown out of the window by the budget, by the big, beautiful bill, as Trump would call it. It had $3 trillion in deficit there, deficit spending, and it had so many components that made Elon Musk to say this is a pork arrangement. Pork arrangement means that some of the components of the budget were padded for political interest. So Elon Musk got a rough end in that he got an insight into it was used. They felt it was used, and he left government and he went and started to hit back at Trump. And while Trump was saying and talking and negotiating with the Russians, the Ukrainians were springing up a plan that almost destroyed the whole strategic bombing fleet of the Russians. It took 2 days for Trump to respond to that action, and he came out and denied that he didn't know anything about it. And now we have seen him negotiating with the Iranians while planning with the Israelis to destroy and attack Iran. So this is a different Trump. This is a Trump that now has two agents, one working for the Iranians, for the Russians, and one working for the Ukrainians. One is Kellogg, one is Steve Witkoff. He now has two faces. He listens to the people who want peace, like Tulsi Gabbard. He will allow her make her views known, don't have war with Iran. But at the same time, he will also be listening to the people who want war with Iran. So we don't know this president anymore. And even though he's moving assets to the Middle East and threatening Iran, we don't really know what actions he's going to take. And all this will define the way this war shapes up going forward. But this is what I can say. Already the war is lost. Ebima Amungo's perspective is that Israel has already lost this war. Israel should be thinking about rebuilding and surviving. This war is lost. Even if America comes into it, this war will be lost. Like I just stated, if a missile barrage destroys one aircraft carrier, there will be a big rethink in America. How it will affect the Trump presidency going forward, we don't know. But we should remember one time too, that it was in Iran that President Carter launched an attempt to try and free embassy staff taking hostages. They never even, the Delta Force team that was supposed to go and free, they never got there. It was a disaster. They got caught up in a sandstorm in the Iranian desert, and they were caught and they were destroyed and defeated. And that cost the presidency of Jimmy Carter. We don't know what an Iranian response, possibly in sinking an aircraft carrier or even taking some of them down. Let's not forget that the Houthis were lobbing missiles at the Mediterranean fleet of the or some of an aircraft carrier that were launching sorties against the Houthis a few months ago. And even though they don't have an air force, they managed to bring down 3 American planes. And it was for that reason that Trump advised that they should leave that neighborhood. We don't know what's going to happen, but I think that even if Benjamin Netanyahu has the support of America, he has already lost. Benjamin Netanyahu is going to be remembered as the prime minister who destroyed Israel. That is my take on it. He will be remembered as the prime minister who led to the demystification and destruction of Israel. Already, Israel's economy is in a bad place. Israel's diplomacy is even in a worse place because nobody, the whole world has come to see the Israel as they really are. This present Israel, through Netanyahu's actions and the actions of his co-travelers, Ben Gvir and all of them, we can all see what's happening in Gaza. And he has, I think with the Iranian matter, he has beaten a little bit more than he can chew. This is where I end my video for today. If you have any opinions about the views I've expressed, please put them in the comment section. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. And until I see you again in my next video. Thank you.